Hey everyone, I'm Eric from Founders Beta. I'm so excited today to be here with Liana from Clearbanc.
Hi.
So thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So we're going to dive into hiring at Clearbanc and what's it like to work here. I see all these like social media posts and videos, and so it's finally great to be here actually in the office. So yeah, let's dive in. Maybe can you talk about what Clearbanc does, how it got started?
Sure. So Clearbanc provides entrepreneurs with the fastest and most affordable growth capital without taking any equity. How we got started is with our two amazing co-founders, Michelle and Andrew, and I would encourage everybody to look up the story because no one can tell it as captivating as they can, and how they came from such different backgrounds and how they struggled with the same problem of there has to be a better way of funding entrepreneurs without taking any equity. So yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff on Michelle's social media, as well as a lot of PR in it.
Right. Also, with Michelle being on Dragon's Den, right? Like, she constantly see a lot of startups. So I think it's so great for founders to be able to raise money without losing equity, right?
Yeah, and that goes into her story as well. And there's the way that she tells it. Like, I just wouldn't want to ruin it for anybody.
Right.
So I do encourage you to look it up.
Awesome, great.
Yeah.
We have a lot of talent on Founders Beta. They're interested in working at startups. Maybe let's talk about what gets the call on their resume. Like I'm just going about my resume and my job search. What really gets the call?
Yeah, so a little unknown fact about our recruitment team is that we actually, for entry-level roles, we call every single resume because we don't believe in judging somebody that's right out of school looking for an opportunity by a piece of paper. So we would make 300 calls if we got the 300 resumes.
Wow.
So our positions like BDRs or call positions, we try to talk to every single person and see what got them to apply and if there's a really good fit here. For more senior positions, we try to call as many people as we can,
right.
But we do keep in mind the more detailed resumes. So because there's so many different organizations with the same titles, a lot of times it's really, really hard to understand what an account executive did in one company versus another company and what that really means, especially with roles like account management. Even product management, it is so different and so vague. So try to give us details about what project you worked on, how did you work on with your team, what size was your team, to get us a better idea of where you fit in the organization. Because a lot of times I will be looking at a resume for one role, and actually it's happened so many times. The most recent is with Jennifer, who was applying for a campus recruiter role, and after having chatted with her more and understanding her background, we actually hired her as a sales enablement associate, and she's crushing it.
That's
and
amazing.
She loves it. So give us detail.
Right, great. And I think it's very important to stand out in a resume, right?
Yes.
You mentioned this story about putting a little bit of interest, maybe if you're a pizza enthusiast, right? Like.
Yes, so for one of my first hires for Clearbanc actually was Kieran, who had a line or something about being a sales and pizza enthusiast. And I remember after going through so many resumes and doing so many calls and coming across this, it made me laugh, and I was so excited, and I got my second wind of energy, and I was like, can't wait to call him. And he did great, and he tailored his resume to Clearbanc, and he had a little bit of snippet of how excited he was to go into sales, and now he's on our sales team and he's doing great.
Wow, how exciting is that?
Yeah.
Great. So how about, let's talk about technical hires. If I'm you're hiring for software engineers, developers, what do you look for in terms of portfolio? Is it GitHub? Is it LinkedIn?
Yeah, the truth is we know how hard applicants work on their applications, so we try to look at everything. We try to go into the background. We like to gather some knowledge before we give you a call because we want to have more meaningful conversations with you. So the more you know about us and the more we know about you, the more meaningful the conversation can be when we come together. So whatever you submit and whatever is public, we try to take a look at it and get to know you.
Great. And let's talk about, this is actually one of my favorite questions. So let's say I get the call on the resume, I come in for an in-person interview. what happens when I come in? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can expect to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people to ask you if you want coffee or water if you're sitting in a meeting.
Right.
So you'll have about 4 or 5 people pass you by and ask. That's one of the most common comments that I get from all candidates. And after you get through the interviews with the recruitment team, which you have a really great bond with and a rapport because you get to know each other so deeply. You meet a lot of the team. So you'll meet at least 4 people that you would be working with. You would also meet somebody that you would be reporting to, and maybe the head of the department or the VP of the department. It might not be all in the same day, it might be over phases, or it might be in the same day depending on how quickly our recruitment process is moving for that position. But we want to make sure that you know what kind of environment that you will be in if you accept this position, and we want you to be sure that you can thrive in this environment and it's motivating for you, because just as we're getting to know if this is going to be a good fit for you, you're getting to know if we're going to be a good fit for you, which is so important.
Right, it has to be both ways, right?
Absolutely.
As much as it's a evaluation from the company side, but for candidates too, right? Like I want to be where I want to be happy. Right? So.
And I have so many conversations with candidates about how they've had a position before where they weren't as happy or as motivated, and it changes your personality, and it doesn't make you feel good coming into work and you're not energized. Where like at Clearbanc, if you talk to anyone, everyone's so excited to come in. We have great leadership, but we also have a lot of the team that's just super passionate about exactly what they're working on. So
great. So let's talk about what roles are you currently hiring for? Which I see a lot of the posts, and what are some roles you're currently looking for?
So we're actually looking to hire across the organization. We have an open role in almost every department, and our growth is going to keep going into 2020 and past 2020. So I really encourage everybody to take a look, see what they're aligned with. Another thing, if you want to get to know a little bit more about an exact role that you're interested in, we have a lot of videos for job descriptions. Our wonderful social media guru, Alicia, she does a lot of fireside chats with different people in the organization to get to know what they do and how they do it. So that might give you a little bit of insight how you'll be working with them or what you'll be doing in a position that's similar. So definitely, I think I want to leave you with a lot of research to do if you're interested in Clearbanc, because things that you'll find it's more captivating if you take a look at it.
Awesome. And what advice do you have for applicants that are looking for opportunities?
Yeah. So I think that a very general conversation that I have with a lot of my friends, a lot of candidates, is we were told in school to write a very generic resume that had an objective of like help the organization with my skill set to achieve revenue goals, and it's like that's wrong advice. And like apply to 100 organizations and you'll get like 2 callbacks, and and from those 2 callbacks you're guaranteed at least 1 interview, and it's all a numbers game. And what I want to say is like it's not. Don't do that. One of the things that best thing for yourself to do is see what you're interested in, because you're going to be talking about the company that you work for at work, outside of work. I talk to people on public transit. I've brought somebody in that I met at a hair salon, and because you're always, it's always in the back of your mind. Work is such a big part of what we do. So think about something that you enjoy talking about. After you've identified that, pick 5 of the most interesting companies with the best aligned missions to what your values are, and then get to know the company, get to know where your skill set is at, and look at the job description, see where your qualifications align with, and then go in for an application and be very specific about what you want. Because the best way to be the most happiest at work and to be the most productive and engaged is to love what you're doing, and even if something is really hard, it's really challenging as opposed to being stressful.
Right, absolutely. And I think being self-aware, like what you're good at and where you want to be, which industries, I think those are like very important before you even go out and start applying, right?
Yeah, and remember, you can always get more qualifications. It just takes a little bit of time, and that's okay.
Awesome, great. Well, thank you so much, Liana, for taking the time today. For our audience, check out Clearbanc website. I'm in their office right now. They got lots of great opportunities coming up, so we're really happy to help you guys connect and look forward to it. Thanks again, Liana.
Thank you, and if you guys are applying, I can't wait to read your application. Bye,
Great.
guys.
Cheers.